Allahu Akbar, what has happened? An incident occurred with an innocent girl in the holy mosque, Haram Sharif, that would make every mother weep. Dear viewers of Islamic Streams, Assalamu alaikum. Dear friends, an innocent girl was going to get water for her mother during Hajj when the angel of death seized her. In the Haram Sharif, people's screams had risen. When a mother was holding her innocent daughter in her arms and looking towards the Kaaba with pleading eyes, friends, such heart-wrenching words were uttered by that mother that for a moment it seemed as if God's throne had trembled. A mother's prayers can pierce through the seven heavens. Then, what miracle did Allah show in response to that mother's supplication? To see and know all this, stay with us until the end of the video. And before moving forward, please make sure you have subscribed to our channel Islamic Streams. If not, then subscribe immediately and click the bell icon so that our upcoming videos reach you in time. So let's formally begin today's video. Dear friends, as soon as the moon of Dhul Hijjah is sighted, Muslims from all over the world set out in caravans to perform Hajj in Mecca. Everyone's tongues are uttering Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, here I am, O Allah, here I am. And everyone's direction and focus is solely on the holy house of Allah, the Kaaba. Friends, this is the place where upon arrival, differences of color and race vanish. If a person is recognized, it is only as a servant of God, honored to have reached this place to perform the pillar of Hajj. Among these pilgrims was a woman who had come here with a caravan. She was from Pakistan. Her 3-year-old daughter was also with her. Both mother and daughter were sitting in the Haram Sharif. For quite some time, people nearby observed that the mother had opened the Holy Quran in front of her and was reciting, while she had given a tasbih, prayer beads, to the girl, who was reciting, La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah, on each bead. The mother would repeatedly look at her daughter, smiling, kiss her forehead, and then resume reading the Holy Quran. At that time, the heat in Mecca was at its peak. The little girl saw attendants distributing water to the pilgrims, so she gestured to her mother, saying that she wanted to drink water. The mother smiled and said to her daughter, Go ahead, dear, and get some water. The girl, happily holding the tasbih in her hand, started going towards the attendant, who was holding water and distributing it among the pilgrims. As soon as he saw the innocent girl, he smiled and patted her head. Then he poured water into a glass and gave it to the girl to drink. The girl drank water to her fill, but instead of returning the glass, she gestured to the attendant saying that she wanted to take water for her mother as well. The attendant smiled. The girl was so beautiful and charming that even the attendants there were glancing back at her repeatedly, smiling. Now carrying a glass of water, she was going to her mother. The girl was just moving forward with the glass in her hand when suddenly she slipped and fell right there. Friends, the glass of water slipped from her hand and fell. As soon as the girl fell, a halo of light appeared to hover there. No one else saw that light with their eyes except for the mother, who saw her daughter falling, and in that very moment, in a fraction of a second, she saw an aura of light circling around her daughter. She immediately clutched the Holy Quran to her chest and ran towards her child. Usually when children fall, they cry and then get up or stand up. But the girl remained lying exactly where and how she had fallen. It seemed as if she had become completely unconscious. Her mother ran towards her daughter. The attendants were also present there. They began to shake her. The mother tried to rouse her child, but the girl had become completely still. The halo of light that the woman had seen made her wonder if it was the angel of death. She immediately began to wake her child, calling her name. But when the attendants checked the girl's breathing, they said sorrowfully that her daughter was no longer in this world. She had passed away, and people started gathering around them. When the woman heard that her daughter had died, it was impossible for her to believe. She became distraught and started shouting, "This cannot be. I obtained my daughter after much supplication and vows. My daughter is my life. I have prayed a lot for her long life. How can she leave me? She is present at such a pure and magnificent place. People receive life from here. How can my daughter be taken away from me? Whoever comes here leaves with their wishes fulfilled. But my daughter, dearer to me than my own life, has been taken away from me. O Allah, do not take my daughter from me. I will die. I have no one other than this daughter." Her other relatives had also gathered there. Friends, the girl was being lifted. Her nose was being pinched. They were listening to her heartbeat by placing ears on her chest, but her breaths had completely stopped. Everyone was expressing sympathy, saying, "This lovely girl was bringing water when the angel of death seized her, and she returned to her true creator," but the mother was not ready to accept it. The attendant said to her, "If you wish, we can bury your daughter here in Mecca. We can arrange a grave for her in the nearby cemetery." But these words were unbearable for the mother. Folding her hands, she pleaded with the attendants, "For God's sake, stop saying such things. Nothing has happened to my daughter. She is fine. My heart tells me that my Lord will grant her life. Nothing can happen to her. She had no illness. She was just bringing water. While doing such a good deed, how could Allah take my daughter away from me? I will die while still alive." The woman, crying, lifted her daughter in her arms and brought her right in front of the Haram Sharif. Weeping, she pleaded, "O my Allah, do not do this injustice to me. If you wish to call my daughter to you, then take my life as well. I cannot live without my child. I have faced many difficulties for my daughter. I brought her here so that I could show her your sacred house, so that I could teach her the love of Islam at a young age." She kept praying, weeping, with her daughter lying before her. Everyone was saying that the girl had died and that her burial arrangements should be made. But the woman was not agreeing. She said, "No, I will not allow this girl to be buried. My daughter cannot die." But when 3 hours had passed, and there was not the slightest movement in the girl's body, the attendants and her relatives thought it would be best to bury the girl to avoid further complications. After all, she is a mother. Even if a child dies old in front of the mother, she still says that it was not yet their time to go. Perhaps their life was only this long. Saying this, people held the woman, and other women began to take her away from her daughter's body. The attendants moved forward to lift the innocent girl when suddenly a cool breeze began to blow. Friends, such a cool and enchanting breeze that everyone felt refreshed. People said they had never before smelled such a captivating fragrance that came with this breeze. As soon as the breeze touched the girl and her hair began to flutter, the innocent girl took a deep breath. It seemed as if the breeze was returning life to her body. The next moment, the girl lying on the floor of the Haram Sharif began to stir, as if a fish had been taken out of water and was writhing. Everyone was witnessing this scene with their own eyes. The mother freed herself from the women and reached her child. Shortly thereafter, the girl opened her eyes and suddenly began to smile, as if she had just woken up from sleep. Friends, everyone began to chant, "Allahu Akbar." God is the greatest. The attendants were astonished beyond measure. For the past 3 hours, this girl had been lying here motionless. She had been lifted. Pressure had been applied to her heart area to bring her back to consciousness, but she had been completely still. It was as if the girl had recovered miraculously. The Hajj pilgrim said, "We also felt that fragrant breeze. For a moment, we felt as if we were losing our minds. But when the sound of the girl's laughter reached our ears and she stood up, saying to the attendant who was distributing water nearby, the same attendant from whom she had requested water earlier, 'Give me water. I want to take water for my mother.'" Hearing this, her mother embraced her daughter, began to kiss her forehead and wept profusely. Then she performed prayers of gratitude. Everyone was chanting Allahu Akbar. Friends, this was a live miracle that everyone saw with their own eyes. Subhanallah, glory be to Allah. Dear friends, please also write Subhanallah in the comments. If you liked the video, be sure to like it and share it with your friends. And before you leave, please make sure that you have subscribed to our channel, Islamic Streams. If not, then subscribe immediately. Press the bell icon so that our upcoming videos continue to reach you in time. Take care of yourselves. We will meet again in the next video. Until then, may Allah be your protector.